Hello, my name is Stephanie Gomez. I'm doing the copyright module reflection. After reviewing and reading all these copyright and fair use websites, there's actually a lot that surprised me. There was actually a lot that I realized I didn't know. I was kind of under the impression that if you're using it for educational purposes, it falls under the fair use, and I was completely wrong on that. Um, I was also really surprised that it said one of the sites said that even that anonymous works are copyright protected until 95 years after publication. That really surprised me. Like, I really did not know that. Although it was very interesting. I've actually really learned a lot in this, and I'm hoping that I never break copyright now. um, Examples that I've experienced. Trying to think. I was actually in a class where my teacher, he would record cops episodes. It was in like a history of law or some law class. We really didn't even do anything in that class. It was not very good, but it was fun. But he would record episodes of cops from like years ago, and we would just continually watch them and watch them and watch them on days when we weren't working in the book. And I'm finding out that that's broken copyright, because if you record something, it has to be watch within 10 days, and then you have to have permission. And pretty sure he'd never have permission. Um, Also, I'm thinking possibly that when it says with the music, if you could do a copy of something for performance if in a case of emergency. But I'm thinking like in band when they copy sheet music and they give it out, um, and he would give out multiple copies, like multiple. Is that copyright? Um, is it really that big of a deal? I mean, a lot of people don't think so because it's for education purposes, but at the same time, if you're on the other end of that, like if I created something and you're violating my copyright, of course I'm going to be kind of upset. So I think it is a big deal. I mean, I think anything that deals with the law and following rules is always a big deal. Whether we like them or not, it's still law, and that's a fact. On the fair use quiz, I actually didn't do the greatest. I got like a 64, I believe it said. Um, and some of the questions that surprised me was oh yeah, the my number three at least. It said that a history teacher taped the original ABC News report showing Richard Nixon leaving the White House after he resigned. She made it at home on a personal VCR and used her own tape. She uses the entire news program every year in her classroom. This is fair use. And it turns out that it's not fair use because she recorded it and she could only use it for 10 days, and then she had to ask for permission. She never did that. I mean, that's something that I feel like is definitely educational and everything. And she's not, she wasn't using it for like ill reasons or anything, but it violated, it violated the fair use policy. And I was kind of, that's where I started to really just like, oh wow, this is crazy. And then on the other hand, there was one on how a science teacher asked a school librarian to record an episode of Bill Nye, the Science Guy, on its original broadcast back in 1998, and he uses it for years, and it's permissible. And in that case, it is okay because of it being like an educational video and everything. And it's just like some things kind of almost contradict each other in a way, and you really gotta see what is you're able to do with copyright and fair use and what you're not. And there's a lot more that goes into it than I ever believed. But overall, this was a very, very interesting lesson, and I've definitely learned a lot. Thank you. Bye.